Okay. Whoa, it's on. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be talking to you today about a little about Sora and basically what Sora is, but why and how Sora makes materials accessible for all students in your school. So my name is Brennan. Thank you. That works too. We work in the Parkway School District, and that is a suburban school district around the St. Louis area. And we're fortunate enough to have a position that is mine. Technically, my title is Innovation and Library Systems Support Specialist, but it's kind of a mouthful to present to people. So sometimes I just say lead librarian. But as part of what I do as being a lead librarian, I work with our new librarians. I'm going to let Melanie introduce herself. She is a brand new librarian, rocking it out here at her first ISTE and presenting and all of that. So grateful to her. Go ahead.
So I'm Melanie. I teach in a K-5 building. I am a librarian. I just finished my first year, so I made it. I'm happy to be here and talk to you guys today. So
okay, so just a little about our district and kind of what we do with Sora and how we're connected by that. We have a specific digital content strategy in our district that we pay very close attention to. If you're familiar with Bill Bass, he's a former president of ISTE. He's my boss. He's our library coordinator. So digital content is very important to us. And as librarians, we try to always provide a variety of formats of materials to all students. So even if you're sitting there thinking, you know, like sometimes kids prefer to have a book in their hand, that's absolutely true. But there are kids that prefer the digital. And then what I'm going to talk about today with Melanie is why the digital content can sometimes be advantageous for learners, especially when they're struggling or have trouble reading. So we use Overdrive and Sora exclusively as our digital content provider. Just this past year, we kind of played around with how our accounts worked a little bit so we could give more access to more kids for more books. So we have our elementary schools are divided into 3 different like shelves. And then they're able to purchase from that. So I'm going to let Melanie talk just a little bit about Highcroft at her school.
So like I said, I'm in a K-5 building. We use Sora a lot for audiobooks. So that's one thing that my students particularly really like is the ability to be able to listen to books. With my big kids, I talk to them about like you can get the Sora app on your iPads or your Kindles or your mom's phone and listen to it in the car when you're going to your sports practice. They love our magazines. So all of our magazines come through Sora too. And then you don't have to worry about all of those raggedy magazines coming into your book drop. The other thing that my littles really enjoy is the read along text. So it's, you see the book and someone reads it to you and it's a nice, pretty voice with the music and the features in the background. So it's not that robotic reading sound. And then right here, one of the things that we really played into this year was the badges, which if you work with kids, you know that they're competitive, you know that they love to earn things. And so we really made our badges public and I would have like weekly challenges on who could earn what badge. And so you can see this is where we displayed, I just printed them out and we displayed those badges. So just to get them excited about that e-reading.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think that covers it. It's really cool. There's just so much that they can find so quickly. So sometimes when you're limited on space, just pushing something out through Sora is a lot quicker than trying to show them where it is in the physical space and just getting them excited about maybe a topic or a content that they wouldn't normally find in your physical space. So it's been really great for us.
So as librarians, one of the main things that we try to do is make our collections, all of our collections, as accessible as possible. So there's an article linked down here that kind of talks about all the ways that you can provide accessible materials in your library or even in your classroom. So the really cool thing about Sora is that Sora gives you access to all of these. So if you look at, you know, you can make materials accessible by using ebooks, by using audiobooks, large print, novels in verse, graphic novels, picture books. Any of those things are a single entity though, but Sora gives you the access to all of those. So all students would be able to access all of those things in one nice and easy platform. So that's the great thing about it. We're going to show you next some specific pieces of accessibility in Sora. Maybe.
Did you also want to tell them about how we connect it with our public library? I think I missed that earlier.
Why don't you do that now?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do is through our public library, we've partnered with them. So our students can see multiple libraries. If we don't have the book and they've registered their public library account with their Sora account, then if you search it, you just have more options. So that's really nice. As a librarian who works in our district but lives in another county, I have all of our libraries, and I can show the kids like, oh, just because we don't have this book today, I can find it from another library, or I can find it in another version. I can find the audiobook or the read to me book. So having that just extended access is really nice through partnering with our county libraries.
So for years now, we've been providing audiobooks as a help to students who need it. And then along the way, people just came to prefer audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks in my car all the time. They have all of these really great advantages to them. They have the same benefits as reading. So we count listening to an audiobook as reading and reading time. They help relax your eyes. They get you off the screen if that's, a motivation for you in getting your kids off screens in your classroom. But I also like, it goes back to that, when you hear that reasoning that, the kid prefers a print book, totally fine. Have them check out the audiobook through Sora, and they can listen to it as they're reading the print book and do both. So audiobooks are an amazing advantage. I think I skipped one. Go back. The nice thing in audiobooks is that you can adjust the speed of the narration. So you can get it to slow down, just like when you're watching YouTube, you can slow down or speed up a video. You can do that with the narration. You can also take notes in the audiobooks. The really cool thing about Overdrive setup here today is they've got these
interactive screens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was at a loss for words. So on the other side, when we get finished, we'll kind of show you where the buttons are if you're interested in seeing sort of how this works, but it's very easy for the kids to figure out and navigate on their own. Thank you. These are the read-alongs that Melanie was referring to. So you can see this is kind of what they look like. Very bright, very colorful. It's just basically like you're looking at the book itself. But the cool thing here is that you can see it's kind of highlighting the word as they go along. So we have a collection of read-along fiction, and then we have a collection of read-along nonfiction. So the students are able to pull from both. And those are available for the lower grades. But the nice thing is your collection goes downward. So even the older kids have access to do the read-alongs if they would like. Thank you. So this is ebooks and Lexile.
So you can, when you get into Sora, when your students are becoming more familiar with the app, there's a lot of filters that you can teach into. So you can teach into those reading levels, teach them how to sort through by reading level. You can search. I mean, the filters are endless. So you can really hone into how much you want to teach into those filters to help your kids find content that's right for them. And that'll just show them all those available books and all that content that's ready.
Thank you. So Sora's interface is available in 10 different languages. So that means that when they get the directions of how to look for their books and look for the collections and look for the different topics that they're looking for, it can be changed to 10 different languages. That does not mean it automatically changes the book to that text. It just means that the platform itself is in that language. This has to do with high contrast. Kids these days love the dark contrast screens. So that's what I see most of them doing. I go back and forth. Actually, I use the white and the dark, but they could change it to the dark contrast screen, as you can see there. And then also under the display, it'll tell you all of the things so that you're, like what your language is. It's got the dyslexic font that you can turn on or off if you'd like. And then you can just turn the high contrast on or off.
Yes, so there's so many different fonts, lighting, just display options. And if you work with kids, you know that they have to customize their stuff. So they can come in here, everybody's their display can be different. They're still reading. It's great. It gives them that freedom to feel like they're really owning the app and owning what's inside of it by just changing up the font or the size or whatever it may be. You walk by and their font's this big and I'm like, as long as you're reading, that works for me.
And I feel like we've been talking a lot specifically about the app, but in fact, students, when they're in our schools, we're a one-to-one Chromebook school. So they actually use Chromebook. They just use Sora right in their browser. We do have it in Clever so that the students are able to easily access it there and open it from there. But they do use their Chromebooks for the most part when they're reading at school. So at school, it's important that Sora supports the various screen readers that we use for all of our students in Parkway. And that was it. We were just going to kind of show you, if anybody wants to stay after, some of the features and how you get to them. It's a very easy, it's like I call it the hamburger menu. I don't know what the real name is. The triple bar menu up at the top of the screen is where you make most of those setting changes. And they're really easy and simple for students to do. And just, if I could leave you with one key thing, and then if Melanie wants to say anything else, it's that, you know, all of these accessibility features make reading an easier task for all students. When you hand them a print book, there are things they're going to struggle with, and you have to teach them how to, you know, take the notes out of the book. You can't change the font. You can't change the spacing. You can't slow anything down for them. But when you're using digital content and you have this great platform like this, it really allows you to sort of personalize reading for every one of your individual students.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, I think in our district, you probably have heard, like, we're always trying to reach all students where all students are at. And I don't know that there's something in this app that's not doing that. We can log on, we can put it in front of a student, and every kid is able to make some adjustment, accommodation, find what they need to get them excited about reading within the app. And so for us, and with our big mission of just reaching all kids, this does it for us. So great. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I think they have some prizes to give away to you.